Welcome to another episode of Med Nuggets. So today we have an exciting topic to discuss, that is cabbage for arthritis. So this is the topic that Vinodi wanted to talk about for a long time. So Vinodi, can you please tell us why this topic?
So while I was thinking of a topic to talk about for our next episode, I remembered that one of my grandparents, whenever she have a knee pain, she would wrap her knee with cabbage and it would magically relieve her pain.
Okay.
And as a child, I thought maybe the cabbage gives a big hug to the knee and then it feels better, right? So haven't your parents done something like that, Manisha?
I don't think they wrapped cabbage, but they definitely applied oils and gels to relieve the pain.
Yeah, mine too did that. But then cabbage was like the go-to treatment for knee pain.
I see.
So anyways, as a medical student now, I was curious to know, is it an actual legit thing or is it one of those old traditions without any meaning, right?
Yeah.
And when I researched about it, I found that it actually does help, which was quite surprising to me.
Yeah, actually, that's really cool. I mean, just wrap your knee with cabbage and you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
So I think we should first start with what arthritis is, because some of our listeners might not be familiar with this condition.
Yeah.
So Vinodi, can you briefly explain what arthritis is to us?
Yeah, sure. So arthritis, it's a very common condition. It is a chronic inflammatory condition that affects your joints.
Yeah.
And millions of people worldwide, they suffer from this disease. So it is kind of a disease that's inevitable. When you grow old, you're going to get it one day or another. So it can cause pain, can cause stiffness and inflammation in your joints.
Yeah.
So there are various treatments, medications, and physical therapy that can improve these patients' quality of life. But it is also good to know and practice home remedies as well.
Yeah.
Together with these other treatments.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. I mean, home remedies, they are easily accessible, they are safe and cheaper, right?
Yeah.
No hospital expenses and all that.
Yeah.
And I think back in the old days, people were aware of this. But now with the development of Western medicine, our and the younger generation have less knowledge on home remedies.
Yeah.
And I think we should educate ourselves with these treatment methods as well. Especially the ones that are backed up by science, right?
Yeah, and these cabbage leaf wraps, they have been used as a remedy for centuries to reduce pain and swelling that is associated with certain conditions.
All right. So, Vinodi, can you please tell us how does cabbage help with arthritis?
Yeah. So cabbage, it is a cruciferous vegetable that belongs to the Brassicaceae family, which also includes other vegetables like broccoli, kale, and Brussels sprouts.
All right.
So cabbage, it is rich in vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin K, and vitamin B6. And also it is rich in minerals and antioxidants.
Right.
So all of these nutrients in cabbage gives cabbage an anti-inflammatory property. So when you use these cabbage wraps, it has the ability to produce a cooling effect and reduce the inflammation because of its anti-inflammatory property and ease pain in these patients with arthritis.
All right. Awesome. So are there any research done on this topic? Is it backed up by science?
Yeah, like I said before, cabbage have been used for centuries now, right? So a lot of scientists, they were curious to know how it relieves pain. What are these magical substances in cabbage that is so good for arthritis? So there are a number of studies that are done to investigate this beneficial effect of cabbage.
Yeah, so having science back up really increases your trust on these remedies.
Yeah.
So, Vinod, can you briefly, in simple language, explain the studies done so far? Like, how were these studies conducted and what are the results of the studies that have been done so far?
Yeah, sure. So I'll briefly explain two studies.
Okay.
So there was one of the studies was a randomized control trial. So this studied the efficacy of cabbage leaf wraps on patients with osteoarthritis. Mm-hmm. So in this study, what they did was they randomly assigned these patients with osteoarthritis into 3 groups.
Okay.
One group received the cabbage leaf wrap 1 hour a day. And then there was another group that were given a cooling gel pad for 20 minutes once a day. And then the last group was given this diclofenac pain gel, which was given 4 times a day. And then in this study, it was found that both the cabbage leaf and the cooling gel pad, they had almost the same effects in reducing pain in these patients. And their effect was much better than the effect that was produced by this diclofenac pain gel.
Okay.
And then another study, it's a bit complicated, so I'll try to simplify it as much as I can.
Yeah.
So basically, cabbage, they have certain compounds, these magical compounds, and in medical language, we call these microRNAs. So these microRNAs, they interfere and kind of block the production of a protein in our body called the FAN protein. So this FAN protein, it's quite mischievous. It helps another molecule called TNF-alpha to trigger an inflammatory response. So these TNF-alpha molecules, these are key molecules that is involved in the development of arthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis. So in this study, what they did was they did an in vitro study. They isolated these microRNAs in cabbage and then analyzed its effect on the FAN protein level in the cells. So it was found that these compounds in cabbage, these magical compounds in cabbage, reduce the expression of this mischievous FAN protein that produces this inflammation, right?
Yeah.
So by reducing the expression of this FAN protein, they reduce the inflammation.
Yeah, okay.
And in the same study, they used mice, and these mice were induced with arthritis. And then they injected these compounds in cabbage to these mice. And then also they found that this arthritis in these mice, which was induced, was reversed or it was diminished in these animals after the administration of these compounds from cabbage. So these are two of the many studies that explain the beneficial effect of cabbage, that prove the beneficial effect of cabbage.
So actually from these studies, it's quite evident, right, that cabbage leaf wraps can be helpful in alleviating inflammation and therefore pain in patients with arthritis, right? So, how to apply these cabbage wraps? Any points that we have to keep in our mind when applying this?
Yeah, so firstly and foremostly, you have to choose fresh and organic cabbage.
Okay.
And it is best to opt for green or purple cabbage because they tend to be more effective. And also make sure that the leaves are clean and they do not have any blemishes or damage. And then gently peel off a few outer leaves from the cabbage head. Thirdly, you have to wash the leaves thoroughly with cold water to remove any dirt or impurities. And after you do that, you boil the leaves, the cabbage leaves, in boiling water for a few minutes to soften the leaves. So this step actually helps release some of the cabbage's healing compounds, kind of loosen up the healing compounds. And then after it's boiled, just leave it to cool. And after it's cool, just place these softened cabbage leaves on your knees. And make sure to cover the entire affected area, and you can secure them in place using a bandage or a cloth wrap to make sure you don't make sure that the cabbage leaf doesn't fall off.
Okay.
And then after it's secured, you leave the wrap on for around 30 minutes to an hour. And you can repeat this process until your pain is relieved, you can repeat this process as much as you can. It's not like taking a medication where you have to stick to a dose. You can do this as much as you can.
Yeah.
But a few things you have to keep in mind is that if you have any allergies or if you have any skin sensitivities, then it is best to test it on a small area of your skin before applying this cabbage leaf wrap, just to make sure that you don't get any adverse effect from it. And also cabbage leaf wraps, then they do not cure arthritis. It just gives a temporary relief to the pain that comes with arthritis. So consult a healthcare professional for a proper treatment plan.
Yeah, also practice a healthy lifestyle and get in regular exercise and take supplements, especially postmenopausal women, right?
Yeah.
They should be religious with their supplements to delay progression of arthritis, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so that brings us to the end of today's episode. I think Vinodi provided us with some valuable insights into using cabbage wraps as a potential remedy for managing arthritis symptoms. So thank you, Vinodi, for that.
You're welcome.
And folks, just like Vinodi mentioned, remember to always consult with your healthcare provider. Cabbage leaf wraps, they give only a temporary pain relief, right? Yeah, so thank you all for tuning into Med Nuggets. If you have any questions or topic suggestions, feel free to reach out to us. Stay healthy and be well. Bye-bye.